Suresh, warm welcome and thanks for spending time with us today and allowing us an opportunity to share your thoughts on this subject.
Thanks, Team Devcon, for providing me this opportunity to talk about Apna, as we call Apna Times. Glad to be here. Sure, I love talking about Apna, and Apna was founded in 2019, just before the pandemic, But Apna is today India's largest job and professional networking platform. It's dedicated to helping India's rising workforce to unlock unique professional networking and skilling opportunities. Our job platforms leverage a sophisticated algorithm that matches candidates with employers, taking into account their skills, experience, and preferences. Apna app also comprises of 70 plus different communities, for skilled professional like telecallers, field sales agent, delivery personals, carpenters, painters, and many others. Apna communities, these communities have enabled users to grow their professional networks, upskill through peer learning, and find, gig and job opportunities. We have undertaken a Herculean task of solving Earth-scale problem of unemployment, poverty, and skilling. And these are the biggest challenges in current times. Apna is a mission-oriented company, and our mission is to empower the next billion users with access to employment, professional networking, and upskilling opportunities. And we are also trying to bring a complete, absolute cultural and social change in the society through technology, which led us to building a breakthrough product and one of its unique kind of platform that is helping in economically uplifting family incomes and raising the standard of living in India. Our vision is to become the largest professional networking platform for the rising workforce for the entire world and making employment accessible for all and bridging the deficit of trust between job seekers and company human resources, right? At present, we are trusted by 22 million users and 200,000 employers. And in such a short span of time, we have expanded to 70 plus cities within India, and we have enabled more than 350 million interviews and professional conversations so far. We consider ourselves as a tech company or a digital native or cloud native, right? So, Subram, you touched upon how in the last few years there has been a revolution, how we deliver applications and especially in the digital space, right? And I think cloud plays a very central and critical role in that. And if you look at, there has been many things which evolution of those together in sync has led us to, this day today, right? Whether it's, how do you build applications in an agile fashion, whether it's about, service-oriented, architectures of microservices, advent of containers, and then Kubernetes, which you also touched upon, right? And we do see that, how in multiple domains, like take example of fintech space today, products are being built which are fully digital, and the same is the case with Apna. And cloud helps in lowering that entry barrier, that entry barrier for, starting a digital product has come down very significantly and also permitted not only startups, but, legacy organizations or, big enterprises to digitally transform, across industries, their businesses, right? And then serve those products, digitally. And we saw during last 2 years, right? The pandemic had just hastened this pace. And I don't think without cloud that would have been possible, right? We all started working remote, and I think cloud has a big role to play in that. And I think when cloud started, it was more about cost, right? Or maybe, scaling or getting infrastructure on demand. But I think that's not it. Cloud, as you mentioned also, cloud enables speed, cloud enables agility. And talking specifically about Apna, as I said, we are digitally native. If you look at, we have a decision to make when we just started, right? Okay, how do we deliver our services to our end users, which are our job seekers, right? And we decided to just go with a Android app, right? Because most of the people, using Apna to found jobs, they don't use desktop or, they don't have internet connection. But if you look at, the cell phone revolution and the internet revolution in India has actually enabled us to reach out at to every corner of India. We don't have a physical interface. We don't even have a web applications for our candidates, or job seekers, right? And they just use their mobile apps to access Apna services. And our backend services, and as I spoke about the sophisticated algorithm, which matches both the candidates and the companies, right, based upon their skills, their expertise, their preferences, right? Those are running on cloud. So we were you can say we were born in cloud, okay? And another aspect is that we put a lot of emphasis on trust and safety, right? Apna is not only a jobs marketplace but a community also. And trust and safety of the communities is our foremost objective, because that empower us to provide a safe space to Apna user to share their learning and experience. And I can say, with confidence that without democratization of AI ML, and I think you touched upon this, right? Those services in cloud, that would have been, a much longer, effort for us, right? So, cloud has, helped us a lot, to quickly roll out products and get feedback, right? And we view Apna as a tech company, not a tech-enabled operation company. And for us, cloud will continue to be the key part of our future journey also. And as I said, see, we are cloud native, right? If you look at, every startup or most of the startups have similar kind of journey, right? So, you have a great idea, you start solving that problem, and you have to quickly prototype and build those solutions. Basically, you are experimenting fast, right? You want to get that product out, right? And we exactly did that, right? We rolled out our product, we learned from, response from our end users, we iterated, and then, we kind of kept on building new services, right? And not only AI ML, right? We generate a lot of data. As I said earlier, 22 million users and 200,000 employers, right? It's not just that, okay, hey, we have those users on board and we show them, jobs, right? We actually do a lot of screening, okay? We want to make our platform more and more relevant to users so that, they can get their insights, they can get the value very quickly rather than searching through multiple jobs. So that's what we call screened leads, and that we have to process and crunch a lot of data, right? And on top of that, we have to build a lot of different sophisticated algorithms, right? So we are using lot of those capabilities which cloud, or in this case GCP specifically, provide for us, right? And not only that, right? So you get started, and the next phase is you become successful, right? And you start expanding, and you have to scale. So for us, like we started expanding, our platform become popular, and our workload increased exponentially. And let me tell you, that increased very fast, and we have to scale. There is no other option. And I think scaling with GCP, made it seamless. And I'm gonna touch upon GKE a lot more, but I think you spoke about GKE, how it opens GKE system, and how does it enables developers to build applications faster and actually run them without much overhead, right? So when we started, we were in a quick experimentation mode. So we just took compute and storage, build apps, right? But then we have to build new features, and our applications, our systems, kind of, started getting complex. And that's where, our next logical step was to move to a microservices architecture. Now we run our applications on containers, and Kubernetes is our choice of, container orchestration, and with us being in GCP from the beginning, the migration was very straightforward, and we don't have to set up or manage Kubernetes, right? And as I was talking about trust and safety, not only that, right? Building a lot of insights from the data we get, right? Google's, services are actually helping us a lot. We don't have to start from scratch. We can go and, take, those services and build specifically for us. And let me start with saying that, the biggest impact which we have with Google Cloud, that is quite simple and effortless to start with GCP, right? It's quite intuitive. And as I lead platform engineering, I am a big believer of platforms, and I think you touched upon that. But the biggest challenge to rapid innovation is cognitive load on our engineers, right? We want them to focus as much as on building core business logic, solving the problem which we are trying, which we intend to solve, rather than worrying about infrastructure or how I'm gonna deploy my application, how do I gonna size my application, monitor them, operate them. And Google has, Google Cloud has helped us considerably in reducing that cognitive load on our developers and DevOps team. And many features out of the box, right? I will not talk about lowest common denominator like compute and storage, right? And I already mentioned GKE, right? In fact, GKE is our internal developer platform foundation, right? It helps us scale seamlessly, right? Our number of microservices which we have building or migrating the existing workload, they keep on growing week by week. And believe me, it's a very short span of time where we launch a new service and suddenly it becomes hugely popular and there is a explosion in workload demand, right? So GKE helps us that. And not GKE, right? Not only GKE, but if you look at Firebase, okay? So we use Firebase, Firebase actually helped us, to quickly build that Android app, which runs on Android, right? And it's used by all those 22 million users in India today. We can launch new features, without much risk, right? We can do gradual rollout of those features. We can monitor how our apps are being used by end users on different devices, different Android versions, where do we see an issue, we can continuously monitor performance and stability. And we use Crashlytics and Google Analytics a lot to identify any kind of, potential issues and act quickly. And then, we are a job search platform, right? For foremost, right? We use a lot of places and location APIs. Location API help us identify a candidate's location and actually, kind of show them relevant jobs in nearby areas. And the same places API help us, that candidates can actually look for, the areas which they are looking for. The place autocomplete service make search whole more easier and, reduce frictions for our candidates. And then, BigQuery, right? As I said, we generate a lot of data. Not only BigQuery, right? How do we, move that data from the source? How do we store that data? And how do we process and serve that data to our, different scientists, data scientists? BigQuery help us a lot, right? And it's like de facto warehouse for Apna's whole data systems, right? And using, Dataproc, Dataflow, and other services, I think it makes it, very easy and effortless to, start generating insights. And on top of that, I think the vibrant marketplace, which helps us, offload a lot of overhead of managing different solutions, right? Like different kind of data stores or caching, that help us to concentrate, on building the core business logic rather than managing those different solutions. So in and all, I think, Google Cloud has helped us, not only scale seamlessly, but also focus on building the solutions which our end user needs. Apna's business model has extremely strong network effects across our jobs platform and communities both, right? And we have that momentum and we aim to scale further, right? As I said earlier, our vision is to become the largest professional networking platform for the rising workforce for the entire world, okay? And making that employment opportunities accessible to everyone, across the globe. So we continue to invest in product development and we want to ensure a seamless experience for all of our users. Now, candidates and also employers, who are posting jobs and hiring on our platform. We plan to expand geographically too, pan-India, international markets, right? And we are a product made in India, but for the world, and we are scaling rapidly, right? Like in March 2021, we were just present in 7 cities, and fast forward to March 2022, we are now present in 70 plus cities, and that is including tier 2 cities also. End of this year, we want to go pan-India, right? So for that, we need to scale both our tech teams and business teams, and we are hiring across product, data, and engineering, right? And we are hiring for people who are driven by the goal of positively impacting lives, right? And people who echo similar values of deep empathy, insane customer obsessions, and ownership, right? And in that journey, I think Google Cloud is strategic for us. Why? Whether it is expanding our product capabilities, building new features, using data to connect job seekers to more relevant job opportunities, or ensuring trust and safety for our communities. We rely a lot upon innovations made possible by Google Cloud and continue to leverage more and more of best-in-class data, machine learning solution to actually build these capabilities. We also intend to strengthen our SRE implementation to align with best practices like SLOs, error budgets, so that we can ensure maximum uptime and reliability for our job seekers and employers. And you spoke about multi-cloud. That's one area which we are looking, excitedly and following very closely, right? Okay. So these are a few of the areas, which excites me, and I look further toward, partnership with Google Cloud.
Well, Suresh, all of what you just mentioned are music to my ears. You have had a fantastic success so far. Congratulations on it. Thank you so much for your time, Suresh. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Subram.